All right, guys, it's time for another story time, and you're not even gonna believe this one. So back on August 1st, 2001, literally a month before 9/11 happened, I was on a flight with my sister. I was 17 years old, she was 13. We're on our way back from Florida. Well, Memphis was having some really bad weather at the time. That's where we were. We were heading back home to Memphis, Tennessee. And they were having a really bad summer storm. So, we're hovering over the city and stuff for like the longest. And I'm sitting there and, I'm afraid of flying. At least I was. I got over my fear of flying, oh gosh, I would say probably this year with all the traveling that I did this summer. But back then, I was petrified to even get on a plane. I would shake all the time. It was just horrible. So we're coming back from Fort Lauderdale and we're on the plane. We're circling around Memphis, and all of a sudden, the pilot comes on the intercom and says, "Attention passengers, we have apparently run out of gas." Now, I don't know about anybody else on that plane, but I started freaking out. I'm seriously like panicking other passengers on the plane. I'm like, what do you mean we ran out of gas? Like, who goes on the intercom and says we've ran out of gas? Like, what pilot does that? And by that time, I'm probably, freaking out other passengers by then, because it's really starting to, sit in like, oh, we ran out of gas. There's a possibility we might crash if we don't get to an airport nearby and fill up. Oh my God. So I'm literally like sitting there panicking, hoping that we get to this next flight. And I swear I was thinking about that lady from that Airplane movie. If you haven't seen Airplane, not the one where snakes on the plane. I'm talking about like the 1980s movie, 1970s, 1980s movie. There's two, I think, called Airplane 1 and 2. This scene right here.
Stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself. I've got to get out of here. Out of here. Out of here. I've got to get out of here.
Now, literally, there was the people lining up trying to, smack me around and stuff because I was, panicking or anything like that. But luckily, we made it to an airport. I want to say it was Little Rock was the closest airport to fill us up. But nevertheless, we filled up. We're like, oh gosh, maybe 30, 45 minutes out of Memphis. My parents, at the time, back then, I don't think cell phones were really around. I mean, they had them when I was in elementary school, but as far as like texting or, this and that, I mean, I was 17. I didn't have a cell phone at 17. So I don't think I did. I think I got my first cell phone. No. I got my first cell phone when I was 16, I believe. I didn't have it with me on the flight. So anyway, we fill up. We get back in flight and head back into Memphis. And when we get off the plane, I was just so happy to see my parents waiting at the gate. And this was actually before 9/11 happened, where, family could meet you at the gate and stuff like that, where they didn't have to go through this TSA checkpoint, and, you had to have a ticket. Now you have to have a ticket in order to even get to a gate. But back then, my parents were waiting for us. And again, like I said, my sister was 13 and I was 17, and we're on this flight. So we had the stewardess had to watch over us because we're minors. So eventually we get off the plane. I'm happy to see my parents, and they said this was like the worst storm that they've ever seen. And they were like, what took y'all so long? Because the storm had eventually passed over and stuff like that. And we told them, well, the pilot came over the intercom and said we ran out of gas. So, I mean, literally was just petrified after that to even get on a plane. It literally took, 17 years before I got back on another plane. 17 years. I didn't get back on another plane until I went to Washington last October, 2017. I got on a plane to go to a conference in Washington, D.C. And that trip was fantastic. I'm gonna link it above and stuff so y'all can watch it if you would like to. But I've gotten over my fear of flying, but that probably, petrified me on top of the fact that, the attacks that happened and stuff like that. I couldn't get back on a plane. But hey, I know I cannot possibly be the only one that has ever had an experience that was terrifying on a plane. I know I haven't. So do me a favor, everybody that's watching, my subscribers and those that are brand new watching my channel, don't forget to subscribe, by the way, and push the like button if you do like this video. But I want you to leave a comment. Before you leave it below. I want to know your experience on a plane. What was the worst experience you ever had flying on a plane? Seriously. Because I thought we were going to crash because we ran out of gas. So I want to hear if somebody else has a worse experience. And I know there's some out there that have gone through some horrible stuff. So let me know. Alright guys, until next time, let me also know if you want to see some more story time videos. But until next time, love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.